What's up, same team? It's your girl, Avery Woodley, and we have something special for you. I have something special for you, or we have something special for you, okay? I am going to be joined by the Fulks, all right? So this series is going to be called Same Team Meets the Fulks. What it is, we are covering love, real couples, real relationships. We see a lot out in society and on social media about relationship goals. Oh, I want to be like them. I want to be like this, based on what we see, right? People put out what they want to put out, and we see that, and you see a lot of the stuff like hashtags, relationship goals. That does not mean that they are happy based on their matching outfits, the vacations, the glitz, the glam, the photos, all that kind of stuff, the houses. That does not make a relationship. That is not a relationship goal. The goal is to have two whole people who join together and they do what they need to do collectively so they can win in the relationship. And so they can also win individually, right? If I'm not winning and I'm with somebody, then collectively, we're not winning. It has to be both of us together. So I have the Fulks. What I wanted to do was just cover, like I said, a real relationship, real people, and hear about some of the things that they have gone through, some of the things they have grown through, and everything like that. Because that's what real goals are based on. Real goals for relationships are when you are working on yourself, like I said, and working together collectively so you can win together. So I'm going to bring in the Fulks, and we have Nikki and Josh about to join us. Here we have the Fulks, you guys. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Avery.
Hi.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. All right. You guys may have seen them previously on a video that I did, and it was titled, Did She Just Submit to Him? Okay. So we'll get into that another time. But really right now, I just wanted you guys to meet them, and I wanted to talk to them because what we're going to be doing is kind of checking in with them, but we're going to be going into real topics, right? We're going to learn about this couple. We're going to learn about their challenges. We're going to learn about their wins. We're going to learn about Josh as a man. We're going to learn about Nikki as a woman, and then we're going to learn about them, collectively and together. And you're not going to see a lot of fluff. You're not going to see everything that you see on social media that's trending, but this is the stuff that most of us face and a lot of us deal with. Because let's just be honest, the family unit has changed, right? And we are definitely going to get into that. Everybody has their ideal of like, oh, I want marriage to look like this, or I want my relationship to look like this. And then you get in it and it's completely different, right? Because it's composed of two real people and things happen. Presently, as of today, Nikki and Josh are married, correct?
Yes.
True.
Right. So they are married. Are you guys happily married?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Look at Josh's face like, yes. All right. So right now, currently, they are married, but before the altar. So that's what I want to call this, before the altar, right? Because people always talk about like the marriage and the hype. But before that, you have to go. There's certain things you got to go through before you can even get to the altar. But first, I want Josh to just go ahead and kind of like introduce himself. Tell us whatever you want us to know about you, your age, whatever, and then Nikki will move on with you.
Well, hello, world. I'm Josh. I am this beautiful woman's husband. I am born and raised St. Louis, Missouri, 33 years old. I keep saying I'm 32. Full-time barber, husband, father of 3 amazing children that we have.
Gorgeous.
And I guess that's enough.
Yep.
You just got a new title.
You're right. Thank you, babe. I've just been appointed youth pastor at Move Church.
Oh, that is awesome.
Nervous, but I'm ready to get to work.
He's ready.
You know what? You are definitely ready, and it wouldn't be right if you weren't nervous, right? If you're supposed to lead and guide the youth, it's something that you should, that obviously you take seriously. And it's a little nerves are good. It keeps you in perspective, keeps you humble, keeps you focused, and all that kind of stuff. All right, next, I could probably say a whole thing about her, but I'll let her do it. Nikki.
So I'm Nikki. I am a makeup artist of 11 years, wife to this wonderful man who has changed me. We have 3, like you said, 3 beautiful children. I birthed one 4-year-old amazing kid, and then I have 2 amazing bonus children. I am born and raised in St. Louis, same. I am 32 years young, and Yes.
All righty. Okay. Well, that sounds good. So you guys, just like I said, this one we just want to get to know Nikki and Josh and hear a little bit of a backstory, right? Before we get into the topics. So what you did here is one that they said they have 3 children and they are also a blended family. If you picked up on that, Nikki birthed 1 child and then the other 2 beautiful children are her bonus babies, right? And that's a whole nother topic because I like the term bonus over step. And absolutely. I'm sure Josh agrees with that as well. And so we'll get, this is the kind of stuff you guys were going to get into, and not just the terminology, but what it's like to have a blended family, right? What it's like for a woman to come in and be another mom, what it's like for the man to come in and to father another man's child. All of that kind of stuff we're going to get into. But like I said, this is before the altar. We have Nikki and Josh, and this is Same Team Presents Meet the Fulks. So Josh, I am going to start with you, right? So we can call it in the beginning, we can call it the process, the journey before the altar. But really quick, before you met Nikki, okay? So before you met, and we'll get into how you guys met, but like right before you met her, as far as relationships, your mindset, you know, what you were looking for and not looking for, just where were you as a man mentally when it came to the whole love, life, marriage, your relationship status, just where were you mentally? And then we'll, Nikki, it'll be the same question for you.
I was a year divorced.
Okay.
In that April of the same year I met Nicole, I lost my mom. I'm the youngest of 4. Okay. So my mom that's my number one girl.
Yeah, she was your best friend.
Yeah, that was, I told her, if people think it's weird, but I don't care less. To me, like every time I would come see my mom, I'd be like, "What's up, boo?" That was my heart. So when I lost her, I was in this place of really trying to fill a void. Mm-hmm. So dating, not seriously dating, not really like on the tip of. I probably told somebody I loved them, but it was just because I was hurt.
He was trying to get the draw.
Right, you about right.
Right.
So. We met in October, so I believe about a month before, I remember going to work. Okay. And I told the Lord, like, I'm done dating. Like, I'm cool. My mindset was like, I'm worry about me and my kids, take care of my daddy, try to get this money up.
Right.
I was on a whole nother level of like, and I told myself, I ain't dating no more church girls either. That's what I told the Lord. I was done dating church girls.
He was like, give me some ratchet.
And I was done dating black women.
Wow. Just cancel the whole race.
Yeah. I wanted
and we're going to get into that a whole nother time, but keep going. Okay. So you were done.
I told the Lord, I'm done dating black women and I'm done dating inside the church. She gonna come to Jesus off of me. That's what I told her.
Right. I'm a leader to the Lord.
Yeah, I'm a leader to the Lord. If she come in knowing Jesus, I don't trust her. That's what I told him. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, of course I wanted love.
Right.
I wanted to meet somebody, but I was done looking.
Yeah, okay.
Done.
All right. So to sum this up, prior to Nikki, so a year prior to meeting Nikki, it was ending a relationship, right? Am I correct?
Yep.
And then your mom also passed.
Yep.
All right. So he got to a point, he had been dating, all this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to give a recap. And then let's say right before you met Nikki, you said you went into work. You're talking to a guy like, I'm done. Right. And it happens. You're like, I'm done looking. I'm done looking. Doesn't mean that you gave up on love, like you said, but you were just done. And you did not want to, you want no church. You guys, he said he want no church girl.
I don't want to be black.
And he want no black woman. But he had not given up on love. And like he said, dealing with the end of a marriage and then a parent passing. And with him, it was his mother, who he absolutely adored and still adores. Like it was some blows, right? So you wanted to focus on family, focus on business. And I think that's kind of normal, right? I feel like a lot of us get into that mindset when we go through stuff. And it's kind of like, we go through our phases, whether it's dating, like you said, void fillers, whatever. And then we're kind of like, okay, I'm done for now. But then as soon as you hone in and you say that, then look what happens. Nikki.
Boom.
Okay, so Nikki, what was your kind of thing?
So the last couple of years before meeting Josh, I was on a journey to becoming my best self. So I had just when I had my son, I have to back up just a little bit.
Okay.
So when I had my 4-year-old son in 2017, I went through postpartum depression. They sent me into this crazy web of desperation, which made me rededicate my life to God. And so after that, I say postpartum depression saved my life because it sent me on a journey to find myself. And I just really began to become a different and just better version of myself. The last couple years before Josh, I had really gotten my footing with that. Like I felt like I didn't feel like it. I was more confident. I had divorced a lot of my insecurities and I was living my best life. and so a year before I met Josh, I was like, okay, I have been single for about a year. After I had my son, it's so funny because I said about the relationship I was in with his dad that I really liked that we had friendship. So it's just like, man, if I could have this personality, but with a healthy relationship, this would be ideal. It just has to be a different. So it's so funny that like my son's dad and him, they're like their birthdays are like 3 days apart. He's like the whole version of. But it's the truth. It is the.
I get what you're saying, right? When you meet people, there are certain qualities that you wish you could keep. You know what I'm saying? There's certain qualities you wish you could get rid of, and there's certain things, though. Honestly, when you do date other people, you realize kind of like what you want and what you don't want, right? And like you said, the friendship was huge, right? But you also you just didn't want a friendship. You just didn't want a man that was a hard worker. You want somebody that's whole, right? Like, yes, I want them to be my friend. I want X, Y, and Z, but I also want a whole man, someone who is secure in himself, because like you said, you were on that journey of self. So it makes sense. I want, I'm trying to become a whole woman. I want a whole man.
Exactly.
So, see, Josh, I was trying to clean that up for her, but I knew what she was saying.
Yes. So meeting Josh, I came into the relationship feeling like, oh, he is receiving a woman that is a complete work.
Right.
Like, and so that mindset was, we'll talk about that.
Okay, yes. So we'll go back. Okay, so real quick, we're going to pause, right? Okay, guys, so we heard Josh's backstory. We just heard Nikki's, right? So she was on a journey of self-discovery. That started when she realized she had postpartum depression after her son. Like she said, that postpartum depression, realizing she had that, saved her life. I can testify to sometimes our lowest moments. They're also wake-up calls, right? Because it's like, wait a minute. Because you hit rock bottom and you don't like it there, right? You hit your personal hell in some ways and you're like, wait a minute, I can't stay here. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I can live in this space. How do I get out? What do I do to get out of here? And that's when you start that journey of self. You start looking inside yourself. You start dealing with stuff. Like you say, you start unpacking, all of that kind of stuff, right? So she was on a journey of self, right? She wanted to be friends with whoever she was going to be with, but that she also wanted a whole man. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And what I want to tell you guys, and I've said this before, whole does not mean perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect man and perfect woman, right? Whole means that the good, the bad, everything, they are secure in who they are. They continue to strive to become better. They strive for perfection, right? You strive to become the best Nikki. Josh is striving to become the best man. And I feel like that's a good place to be. So your mindset was, this is where I'm at. I know who I am as a woman. I am still evolving as a woman every day that I get up. And if I'm going to be with the man, I want a whole man. Yes. But I want that man to be my friend. And we knew where Josh was at. He had lost his mother and everything like that. His focus was now himself and his family and business, right? And like we said, we already know what he didn't want. We know what he didn't want. And then you all meet.
And he got a churchy Black woman.
Baby, you got a churchy Black. You know what? You got what people would say, okay, like trending, right? Churchy, but you got a woman that loves the Lord. But she is real. And you guys, the more conversations we have with the folks, you will see that they are real. They are not the type of, I hate to say it, churchy religious people who are like sitting high and looking low. Okay.
Right.
They are not that. This is going to be real talk. It's going to be straight up. So whatever, I mean, because that's what's going to resonate with other people, right? And that's what I'm here for. And that's why I brought you guys on, is because I knew you all would be able to pull people in, right? You guys are kind of like the standard. It doesn't mean you don't have to have been married for 20 or 30 years, but your growth, and I can't give it away, but like the growth that I have seen from them and that I have heard about, and just some of the things I have witnessed, like I literally have goosebumps, you guys. I could have brought somebody in here that had been married for 15 years and you wouldn't get this, because you have a lot of people that are together that have not grown. You have a lot of people that are together that are miserable. You have a lot of people together who they're together, but they're apart. And this is same team. And we hear a lot about like the back and forth between men and women. And in 2022, I don't want to do that. I want to focus on those of us who are trying to do the right thing, those of us who are working on hope, love, forgiveness, restoration, bringing the family unit back together, no matter what it looks like, right? Because nowadays, a lot of times you're going to meet somebody that has kids already. You may have to take care of another man's kids. You may have to take care of another woman's kids or whatever. FULAS. All right. So now we're going to go into how you guys met and when you guys met. And then just whoever wants to tell that little story, Josh, you'll go first. We'll talk about after you met her. Okay. After the initial meeting, some of your thoughts, and Nikki will do the same with you. So who wants to give the little spiel on how you guys met?
Of this story.
Yeah.
Don't tell it. He is a man scorned when it comes to this story.
And that's why I'm putting my look. Even though this is, you guys were using StreamYard, so I don't want you guys to think I'm rude, but you know, I try to keep it as real as possible. I don't want to stage. So I'm putting my phone up for some of this because I got to have this so I can record it right now.
I have a story to tell, and I'm here to tell my truth.
Oh my!
Baby, speak your truth, Josh. Speak it.
So we met through. I'm gonna give a little shout out. I have four. How many is it them? 4 or 5 female best friends. She knows all of them.
Okay.
All of them
married. They're amazing women.
They are current. All of them married. So it's never been an issue of you around these women because you like them. It's never been that. They're from my old church, Rehoboth, and when I started going there, they were just sisters who really just took me in as a little brother. It was like, you know, be around my husbands and help you grow. So my best friend Alicia went to get her makeup done.
Okay. I wonder who the makeup artist was.
Oh Lord. So we was in a group chat. She knew I was single. She played a joke on me first. She was like, Josh, I got this girl who want to talk to you. I was like, what's up? Send a picture. I'm not saying no names. I ain't putting nobody out there, but it was a booger wolf. Okay. It was a booger wolf. And I was like, you got me messed up. She was like, nah, for real. I know you single. This girl who did my makeup is single. Do you want me to send a picture? I was like, sure. So I remember the picture. She was in this elevator. Or was you in front of the elevator?
I was in front of it.
Front of the elevator. She had on a white dress, a cut off wrist. She had a bun. And I was like,
I remember that picture.
I was like, dang. I didn't say dang, but for the sake of me being youth pastor and everybody gonna know my pastor.
Oh, yes.
I ain't gonna say my words. But I was like, dang. I was like, she fine as a mug. Set me up. So she set us up on Facebook and Messenger. This is where my truth begins. So I'm gonna let her interject and tell her what she want to tell you.
They're getting a little spiel on how they met because Josh wants to get into his real truth. But
yes,
he talk first.
He can't wait to tell this story. So we met via Facebook. If it was even 2 weeks after a breakup, so I told her, I said, look, I'm not ready for this. And she's like, well, maybe you could just be friends. We exchanged numbers and we started talking. And so we met up at Starbucks. So when he started texting me, it was kind of like a little pointless. And so I said, either we're going to meet up or you're going to stop texting me.
That ain't what the truth either.
What? Okay, well, you tell me. You tell it.
That's why I love you all.
I haven't really had to pursue somebody since my first marriage. So I was kind of out the loop on how to really like pursue a woman.
Mhm.
And I knew that Nicole, from the first time I met her, well, I seen her picture, I knew she was different. So I had to come differently to, to really approach her. But me being a player,
Oh my
you
God.
know what I'm saying? I tried to really be like, hey, how you doing, boo, babe? And she was like, sir.
Like let's not.
So that was like strike one. She was like, my name is not babe, my name is Nicole. So my first time.
That's that modern woman for you.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
You will address me by my first name.
Yes, you will.
I think our first interaction on Instagram, I'm not Instagram, on Facebook, I was like, I think you're beautiful. She was like, oh, you sing in church. Well, I was like, dang, I called you beautiful. Can you say thank you?
Can't take a compliment.
Nothing.
That's something a lot of us are working on.
Yes.
I was like, sheesh. So I was nervous. So I didn't know how to ask, do you want to go out? Because I really, and this is, we was joking, but really, I really felt inadequate.
Wow.
Because of how she carried herself. I didn't want to, I didn't know where to take her, how to dress, all that type of stuff. Because in my mind, I felt like me and Nicole was like this.
Okay.
And I was like, and I tell it to this day, I always feel like I'm chasing you. And if in my mind I could play a trick on myself and say that Nicole is here and you're here, then I will always be in pursuit of you. If I ever feel like we are at equal, then I stop serving. And I don't ever want to stop serving my wife. So it was her idea. It was like, okay, look, you ain't said nothing about a date. We've been talking for 2 weeks. So we're going to Starbucks. I was like, okay.
Oh, now see, I like that. I don't want to interrupt, but I like that, Nikki, that you kind of brought it up because some people would be like, oh, no, I would never. But it was like, okay, either we're going to stop texting and DMing or we're going to meet up.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly what she said, too.
Let's just stop the play. Let's see what's going on.
Like, I have to lay eyes on you. And it was really because you really don't know a person until you feel their energy. I needed to.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, like I needed to lay eyes on him before I could even continue to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't in the mood to waste any time.
So we went to Starbucks.
He was late.
I was late because I forgot to put on cologne.
That is not a good reason to be late.
Definitely is.
Yeah, men like to smell good.
So
that was strike one.
So I pulled up Starbucks. Okay. This is probably corny. It probably sounds like it's not true.
It's cute.
But it's absolutely my truth. I do not believe in growing up in church and say, oh, the Lord has picked this woman for you. And it's one woman out there and you're going to meet her. I don't believe in that. And I've only believed in 2 love stories in my life. The one between God and man and my mommy and daddy.
Right.
That's it. But when I saw her, the way her feet touched the ground, I fell in love. And before I walked into Starbucks, I told God, that's my wife.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I said, Lord, I don't know how we gonna make it work. I don't know how to keep her around.
Right.
But that's my wife.
Right.
And it was the way that she walked the earth. So much grace, so much love, so much confidence. She walked to Starbucks and she ordered, I believe it was like spinach bacon something. And from that point on, I literally fell in love with the way that she she carries herself.
What? We could stop this right here. It was the way you walked, right? It was obviously you're a gorgeous woman, but it was your walk. It was your presence. And me and you have talked a little bit about that feminine and all of that. But like he said, he had given up on churchy women and Black women. But you had given up, Josh. I want to say this to me. You had given up on broken females, so to speak, right? Because a woman is different. What you saw and what you're talking about, the way she carried herself and the way she, the way she walked, not necessarily in just the physical sense, but like her walk, her presence. Right. Because if you technically could have met a Nikki from 5 or 6 years ago, that could have been one of the Nikki's that you were like, one of the ones you talked about, like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not that she was bad, but it's just like, it's a growth thing, right? He knew that where you were at, and because you also said, I'm done with this, he was probably up there like, okay, yeah, I got something for you. So Josh, you said you knew, you were like, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. That's my wife. And I've heard several times that men know. Kudos to you as well. Now, Nikki, yes, Starbucks. Let's talk after Starbucks.
Okay.
Let's talk about when you saw him and all of that. Just kind of like how he did. What were your thoughts?
I think my heart wasn't in the posture to receive him. Mm-hmm. So my story isn't as sweet. I was just kind of like, okay,
it needs to be real.
Yeah, he seems cool, and what I was looking for at that point was for some man to show me that there are men with a genuine heart still walking this earth. I had experienced men with agendas. I think because I've always been a genuine person, no matter what stage of my life I've been in. I've always been a student to life, and my heart has always been in a posture to be genuine. I really wanted to know, like, are there men that are just truly like me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, transparent, that are genuine, that are real, that I don't have to feel like I'm always trying to figure out what is behind your words. When I met Josh, I will say that I could not deny how genuine he was. Like, I didn't find out the other side to any story until later on down the line, because other people would tell me. Because he only took accountability for himself. He was accountable to his past.
Okay.
He was transparent about where he's been and how far God has brought him. And so that spoke to me about his character and made me feel like, okay, we can at least be friends.
Right.
So, like, I wasn't like, oh, this is my husband. You wouldn't have, I wouldn't have believed you, because I didn't think after Starbucks that our relationship would progress. Just the ministry God put in my heart. It's not always the same. Like, obviously, I have a huge, like, call to women. When God puts something in your heart, it's just there. So it's just there. So when I did, like, connecting to Josh after Starbucks, I'm like, okay, I have a compassion for his grief that I've never had for anybody else. So it's like I had language to soothe him that I knew wasn't coming from myself. I'm like, okay, God is using me to minister him through his grief. So I'm like, okay, maybe we're just supposed to be friends. Maybe I'm just supposed to get him through this time.
To me, when you went into Starbucks, it's not that you were completely closed off. So it's not like you had like an iron fence around your heart. But as a woman, and as, you know, in the space that you were in, and you were still on this journey of self and all of that, you probably had a little bit of a protection up, right? And I talk a lot about, like, we don't need to, you know, it's not even protection, like I said, like the iron thing. So you weren't closed off, because if you were closed off, you would not have been able to be compassionate towards him, and you would not have recognized that he had a genuine heart. But you had some boundaries up, right? Like, you had a boundary. Like, hey, no, this is the type of person that, you know, I want, and I'm not really there yet, but I'm not against it. And then what you said about there were parts in you that were able to, pour out to him. And that's the same thing. Like, God was preparing for him, but he also knew what your husband now, so to speak, you know, who he is now, but he also knew what Josh had been through. He knew where Josh's heart was, because, you know, when it came to his mother, and that's one thing I will say, as a mother of boys, and then you as well, baby, they are, and I love my daughter, but the relationship between a man and mother, it's nothing like it. Right. So you guys leave Starbucks. Right. Josh, how did the dating, or when you left Starbucks, right? When you left, or the next week or whatever, how did you all's relationship kind of progress?
Nicole was a learning experience. So in my mind, I thought I was going to be like, I come to the crib, we're going to watch Netflix.
Oh, you thought it was like, Netflix and chill.
Just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? That's a little bit.
Straight from Starbucks to Netflix and chill.
She said, I'm at Target. If you want to see me, come here. So I was driving, and I said, Josh, you got to make a decision. Like, if you're gonna apply pressure, and this is who you want to be with, or you want to get to know, I don't want to say be with, because we're a weekend. So it was really like, if you want to get to know her and really, really grow this thing, pull up on her.
You better take your butt to Target.
I remember going aisle for aisle, looking.
And I did not tell him where I was.
We walked Target. We just kicked it. I was a horrible husband. I asked the Lord, if I have an opportunity to do it again, I will make her the happiest woman in the world. And 2, I want to fall in love with my best friend. And her birthday was coming up.
Okay.
16th of November. I really like you. You know, you my this, that, and the other, and I can see this. And she texted me back and said, Josh, I think this is not going to work. I can't see us being more than friends.
Right.
And I'm literally I was on the edge of my bed, like, in my mind, I'm like, this can't be happening.
Right.
Like, I know this ain't what she just said. But I texted her, I said, you know what, if that's what you want to do, and that's what you believe, then I can't be mad at you. In my heart, I am heartbroken.
Right.
Because she amazing. This is who I want to be with. She stopped texting me for 2 days, but on Wednesday, like I knew she would, she came back around. She wanted daddy.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Give me some. No? Okay. But I kind of knew. I knew already being her friend that a serious relationship was a lot for her. Moving too fast was a lot, or even saying love you was a lot. So it scared her.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody giving you a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can't drive
get to, and you can't drive. So I get to just be your friend and you just this wonderful.
Right.
I don't want to be your friend because you're gonna find another dude, you're gonna fall in love, and then I gotta hear about it. Man, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Just don't call.
But I wanted to hear this because it's real, right? That's what people, we could have the wedding photos on here. And we could be I could be talking to you guys like, oh my gosh, what about the wedding and the reception? This is what people need to hear. Because everything, even like you guys first met and you had a feeling, then all of a sudden you pull up, you're putting yourself out there. Okay, it ain't no Netflix and chill. But if you want to be in this woman's life, if you want to get to know her or whatever, you better pull up. If she said, I'm at Target, I'm pulling up to Target or whatever. And then whatever she was feeling to make her ghost you, which we will get, and now we're going to hear from her. But it's all of that, right? Because a lot of times people operate with a sense of ego and pride. And in those little moments right there, y'all could have been null and void, right? But you took a different route. Nikki, so what do you want to say about ghosting him and all of that? Which he said he did understand how you felt about relationships, moving too fast. I love you, all that kind of stuff. Because we've already declared that you had a semi-guard or you had some boundaries, right? Because you knew what you didn't want. You didn't want the agenda. And coming from a woman's perspective, sometimes we may feel something about a guy, and if it feels too good too early on, it's like, oh no, this ain't it. Then it's like something down the road is going to happen, right? This is too good to be true type of thing.
When you break up, you're supposed to take a season and not date, and you can't move on too fast because this and this. But in my case, when I did break up, and it was a short relationship. Like, it took obedience from God. I was just like, okay, you're giving me signs. You're telling me that this isn't it. Society would have been like, you moved on 2 weeks after a relationship. I want to say a lot of it is the pressure of that, because once you're pressured, you begin to overthink. Mm-hmm. And so then you don't really trust yourself. And not trusting yourself also spills over into, I don't trust what God is doing in my life. So it's hard to even recognize something as a blessing when you have what the standard that has been set by someone that's other than the one who isn't a respecter of time has set. So there was that, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me pull back, because I'm starting to have feelings for this guy, and I can't decipher. Like, this is more than a rebound situation, and it's scaring me a little bit. I'm not.
Is this real or is it a distraction? Right? Because you had, like you said, that path you were on,
it was like a fight or flight situation. It was a flight. So it took for me to have a conversation. It took for me to have a conversation with a friend of mine that Wednesday. I was sitting on her couch, and we were talking about how, she's actually a friend that was instrumental in helping me to transition out of that relationship I was in. I'm just kind of like, okay, like, I know that somewhere in your mind, you feel like I'm stupid for moving on because you was just get out of this last relationship. So she was like, I didn't want you to get out of that relationship. I just don't want you to be in a relationship. I just don't want you to be in the wrong relationship. And I'm like, why am I pushing this man away? Because I'm considering what things look like more than how I actually feel.
Yes.
So that conversation, she was just like, you like him? And I was like, yeah, I do. And it's kind of scary. Nothing wrong with moving on. Like, you weren't married. And not that even matters, but like that, all of those things, us women, we overthink.
Well,
so
but
after that conversation,
it's the vulnerability really quick, right, you guys? So when she said, like, it's kind of like you're kind of scared because whatever you felt, obviously you hadn't felt it before, right? So it's like, whoa,
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we have felt lust, we have felt what we thought was love on a certain level. We feel like, we feel like whatever, right? Or we feel our flesh, we feel good, but like what you felt was it was like, whoa, like what the heck is this? And so you probably one thing I will say is that when you feel something like that, even when you try to fight it, like you can still feel it. So you were already starting to open up. Remember, we had that little barricade. It was like, Josh over here on that barricade, like chink, 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 chink. And you were probably like, uh-oh, like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, but it's like just his presence, right? Was taking that down. And you're like, no, I got to put my arm, like, no, wait a minute. Like, let me step back.
So I sent him a text. I'm like, look, I was just scared. I do like you and all these things. And so then the rest is history.
Kind of, sort of. But yeah.
Sort of, right.
After that, it was mostly smooth sailing. She had a birthday.
Oh, God.
She didn't invite me to her birthday party.
My birthday was the next month. So, mind you, I met Josh October 10th.
She went you around people.
2019. Yes, met him October 10th, 2019. My birthday and my 30th birthday party was November 16th, 2019. So that's a month, right? So we're feeling each other. He rang in my birthday with me, but I did not invite him to my big birthday party that I had that night.
It was still too much. It was too soon for you.
It was still too much. It was too soon. And I felt like, I honestly, just knowing my family, knowing my close friends, like, I felt like it would be a disservice to this relationship for him to pop out too soon.
So now you guys have been hanging out, but it's a month later. You have a big 30th birthday party, family, friends, and everything like that. Now, at this time, do you think it was still fear of what people would think? Was that prevailing? Was that leading, or was it also a mix of, now, since you knew how you felt about him, you wanted to protect that relationship because it's new, right? Sometimes it's like when you have a newborn, you're not letting everybody hold it and, hug on it and kiss it. It's not because, prime example, right? It's not because you don't like your cousins or certain uncles or certain friends and that you don't trust them. You do. It's not that I don't want you guys to ever meet him. It's just that, like, not right now, right? I kind of have to strengthen this, relationship, make sure that we are in a good place. And that you were in a good place for then, if somebody did criticize you or judge you, you'd have to be able to stand 10 toes down and be like, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but no, you may not think this is the person I'm supposed to be with because it's too soon, but guys, this person I'm gonna be with, because you you have to be able to stand 10 toes down, especially when you're going against your tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times it is the people that are closest to you. And when they kind of go against something that we want, it hits different, right?
Absolutely. Because had he come to the birthday party, and I'm pretty sure at some point the thought would have eradicated itself that, oh, this is just a rebound. And I felt I felt differently about him. So it's like, I didn't want this relationship to be mislabeled, miscategorized, or just packaged in the wrong way.
Right.
Because honestly, like, now in hindsight, and we talked about this too, he met my mom at the perfect time. It was natural. The capacity in which he was serving myself and my family at that time, it was like the perfect introduction to this is my person. This is
and also this is who I am as a man. So him knowing that, like, yes, I am I want this woman to be my wife.
Right.
But she also has a mother. She is also a family person, right? And so he showed up like the man, the protector that he was, to be like, look, she's good with me, but also because I love her.
He was out there cutting grass. He was making ribs. Like, he was really, he was a really big support system.
He was stepping up as a man. He was stepping up as a man.
He was.
As a friend, as everything. And then also somebody who in that moment could understand his compassionate heart, right? Like you said you had compassion for him and where he was in the space that he was in. he then was able to resonate and had compassion, not only for you, but for your mother and for your family.
I couldn't have picked a better time for him to come on the scene, because he did it in a way that made him instant family.
Did you understand after the whole birthday thing? Did you understand kind of where she was coming from? Where she was coming from?
Yeah, I did. Once we talked about it, yeah, for me, I told her I could have just been a distant cousin and ate on her dime. You didn't have to tell nobody we was together.
That is not him. He would have been dancing all on me.
Right.
But I understood. I understood. I think that's what really makes me and her work. She makes me a better community. Before her, I don't talk.
Okay.
I don't listen, I don't talk. So in those moments, we had to have real conversations early.
Yes, we did.
You have to deal with real quick. Oh, you guys, this is also good, because that could be a whole nother stream. Real conversations, real quick, because people try to hold off the real conversations till after the altar.
No. We got our
you cannot.
We got our PhDs in having hard conversations, and it has always been uncomfortable. Yes. I was just advising someone of this today. If you work through the test, if you communicate through the test, and you actually pass the test, you can go on to the next phase.
Yep.
You are not going to get to the next level in your relationship or as a person if you don't. You got to cross a mountain. You got to cross that mountain. You can't do that without communication. We making money. We taking trips. We flashy for the gram, but your foundation is something that's generational. Our goal is to pass on generational blessings.
Yes.
Now, we talk so much about generational wealth, but what about the generational blessings? A real loving relationship that's built on truth,
right? Because in our culture, not hiding a lot of stuff, right? Built on truth. I honestly think the perfect time to end, because you guys will be back, right? I forgot I was on here with a youth pastor, because I was about to say, and now you're at a spot where you were like, okay, I give 0 Fs or whatever. Right. I'm going to walk into this thing. I'm going to be open to receive this love and to see where this relationship can go. And like you guys said, the conversations had to start coming quick. It's real life. It's not all, like you said, it's not the stuff that you see on the gram. It is real life. It is about building a foundation. And that's what we're going to get into with you all. I want to see how your foundation was built, right? I want to hear from you all what bricks you were laying, what you guys had, what were some of your challenges, what were some of your accomplishments, individually, collectively, and all of that. We'll talk about the next time. We're going to go into that communication, because before, like we said, even before the altar, you have to have those hard conversations. And you guys, Nikki and Josh just said that they have PhDs in hard conversations. And that is why we are here with the Fulks. And so they will be joining us some more, brick by brick, real relationships, real people, real love. And like you say, you guys are talking about having generational blessings, real healthy families, breaking some of those generational curses, so you guys can then continue to build on, right? We're trying to create a new norm, really, for Black love.
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me on Facebook is Nicole Fulks, NicoleFulks, and on Instagram I am Nicole_beauty and wellness.
Okay.
On Facebook, I'm Josh Fulks Senior. Instagram, it is Josh Fulks, FULKS _ the brand. Everything you need from me is on there.
All right. And then you guys, I will put their information down below. And like I said, you will be seeing them back with Same Team Presents Meet the Fulks, and we will be getting into some of those hard conversations. If you have not yet hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do that. Nikki and Josh, thank you for coming, and we will see you next time. Oh, wait, we have to say same team. Okay. Same team. Look, I forgot. You guys got to say same team. So it's same team where we win together or lose apart.
Same team where we win together or lose apart.
Oh, you guys are like a little commercial.